May we all rise for the national anthem, please? Namaste and good afternoon. I am Shiuli and I have been honored with the responsibility of sharing a brief introduction about Karista Foundation. Karista is a Greek word which means charity, giving and caring. Karista Foundation was founded on the foundations of caring for the elderly, artists, artisans and holistically the entire planet. Karista Foundation's logo is a handmade vase because we support handicrafts, artisans, and Indian art and culture. We aspire to identify artistic talent from the underprivileged section of society to provide them with opportunities to receive artistic education. We are also championing the need for psychological care for the elderly. We hold group and private sound healing sessions to help minimize stress and depression, which is offered free to the senior citizens. In the last 2 years, we have organized regular fundraisers through Jalsa, a gathering of intellectual individuals every month, where performances of brilliant but lesser known artists were appreciated and encouraged. The monthly Jalsa raised awareness and sensitized the audience about elderly care by showcasing our short film Poonam. All in all, Karista Foundation is founded with passion and stands for elderly psychological care, promoting artists, Indian art, and a cleaner and greener planet. Karista Foundation is grateful for the unflinching support received from the event's lead partner, Seni, by TZMO Group and associate sponsor Skybarge Freight Private Limited. Today's National Symposium on Elderly Psychological Care is supported by All India Radio, Aerotatvika, Marina Handcrafts, and Sukhmanch Theatre. We are deeply grateful to all our partners and supporters. Parents and my dear audience here, I would like to present this invocation song called Maro Pranam. Maro Pranam,
delighted to introduce Mita ji. Please आइए. इनका ना हाना चल रहा था आने का. So we couldn't announce that she's coming or not. And just last evening I called her and asked her, आप आई हैं दिल्ली? बोलती हाँ आई हूँ. सुबह फिर मैसेज आया, अपनी मम्मी को साथ लाऊं? Shall I get my mother? That is more apt. So आंटी भी आई हैं. Thank you so much आंटी for coming. And मुझे कहानी बतानी है कि आप कैसे पूनम में आ गई. हाँ बताओ. है ना? हाँ जाइए बैठिए. So when we were looking for the right cast for Poonam, we are not film producers, we are not from the film fraternity, we are not typical filmmakers, but we wanted to create the film to actually make people cry or at least evoke an emotional response in them. So I have been talking to a lot of artists. I remember the final conversation with Mita ji years ago, and I was in a conference and she called and 2 घंटे मैंने उनसे बात की कॉन्फ्रेंस छोड़ के बाहर. आपको पता है मीता जी, आई वाज इन अ कॉन्फ्रेंस, तो कॉन्फ्रेंस छोड़ दिया था मैंने आपसे बात करने के लिए. सो आई स्पोक विद हर फॉर 2 hours एंड शी सेड दैट मैं क्यों करूँ ये फिल्म. आपको याद है? नहीं याद है आपको? हाँ मुझे याद है. मैं क्यों करूँ ये फिल्म? मैं बोला आप ही पूनम है, आपको ही पूनम बनना है पूनम में. बिकॉज आई थिंक द वे आई विजुअलाइज द फिल्म, आप जो एक्सप्रेशन दे सकती है, आप जैसे इस किरदार को निभा सकती है, कोई और नहीं कर सकता. 2 घंटे के बाद मीता जी ने बोला ठीक है, ऑलराइट आई विल डू इट. एंड टुडे शी इज़ हियर. आई एम सो ग्लैड. इट इज़ डिवाइन. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग हियर. And thank you Meenakshi Vasisht. आपके बारे में मीता जी से बार सुना है that she keeps coming to meet you. So I think it's very, very significant that both of you are here today. Yeah? Thank you so much.
तो क्यों ना बाकी जिंदगी हंसते हंसते कट जाए किसी साथी के साथ, पूनम और सूरज की तरह.
Health-wise, loneliness is as bad as smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Does that sound alarming to you? India has undergone a demographic transition in the past 50 years, tripling the elder count. This percentage is slated to rise to 11.6% of the population, or 159 million by 2025, according to United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Now talking about what Karista intends to do. Karista Foundation is attempting to address the loneliness and depression in elders. In India, we must work towards having a set of governance or policies that address the issue. The National Symposium on Elder Psychological Care aims to raise awareness about this issue and involve the individual, social, corporate, government cooperation to help create a field of happiness, joy, and laughter for elders.
Now it's time to listen to what Mita Vasisht ji has to say. I always found her a woman of substance, very elegant, and her commendable choice of work that she has been contributing to the films and theatre has always drawn my attention towards her work. Thank you so much for being such an integral part of our film. I think the film became what it had to because of you, and you're here today. Please come and share your thoughts about the issue and the cause.
Hello everybody, namaskar. Hi. I have to say one thing. There was a lot of things I wanted to say, but Vineet ji has already spoken about it, and I was so happy that actually this is already being addressed at government level. I was 12 years old when I watched you on Doordarshan, and we all were so enamored of you. So today when I knew you were going to be here, and I was so heartbroken to know, well, it's congratulations for a 45-year-old marriage, but I was hoping you're single. But so I'm here also with my mother, who's 83 years old. I was born in 1961, so I turned 60 last year. So today, Mummy and I are the same generation. We are both senior citizens. She is my future, as all our parents are. आप जितनी भी उम्र के हो, आप 10 साल के हो, whether you're 5 years old or 10 or 15, the minute you become aware, you realize that your parents are not some old fuddy-duddies. They are what you are going to be in the future. You're going to be old. You're not going to stay young forever. So my mother is my future and I am her past. Once upon a time, she was like me, perhaps, you know, the age. So sometimes when we think of doing things for senior citizens and we talk about an us and a them, we are doing it for them. Actually, there's no us and them. We are going to be them, they were us, and so there's actually no divide. I became acutely aware of this thing of, I lived my life as an actress for most of my life, but the last 15 years of my life suddenly became very, very conscious about what it was to have parents and senior people in your life, आपके जीवन में जो आपके बुजुर्ग होते हैं, और उनको खोने का क्या मतलब होता है, ये भी होता है. So right now in my family, there's only my mother left of that entire generation that I used to call uncles, aunts, father, cousins of my parents. Nobody is around. So it's a very strange thing, and that's the one time I wish I had children, because maybe I would have had something to have as a continuity. But then somebody has said already that you got to be very lucky if you have good children. Otherwise, I think it was Shakespeare who said how much sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. तो इस देश में हमने कहीं ना कहीं, it's a wonderful thing that जो सरकार है हमारी आज की, वो ऑलरेडी सीनियर सिटीजन्स के बारे में इतना सीरियसली सोचने लगी है, क्योंकि पहले हमारे देश में ये था कि आज के दौर में बच्चे हैं तो आपकी देखभाल हो जाएगी, लेकिन विनीत जी के जैसे 4 जनरेशन्स हैं एक ही घर में अभी भी रह रहे हैं, ऐसे परंपरा कम होती गई है. दिस होल सिस्टम ऑफ 4 generations of people living together, growing together, eating together, sharing lives together is really almost getting over. And it's true that a lot of children do not look after their parents, not because they don't want to. I will just share a very small personal thing that happened. Some 4 or 5 years ago, a friend of mine and I, we were going to see a matinee show at the only single hall in Juhu in Bombay, Chandan Cinema, single theatre hai. Not like the multiplex. By the way, my mother loves watching movies, but she cannot go to movies now because everything is in a multiplex, which means so many stairs to climb, dimly lit hall, no railings, how do you haul yourself up? She loves the experience of, if she could buy a ticket herself and see the first day first show, she would have done it, if the cinema halls were the kind where you could go. Now you have to negotiate traffic, so many corridors, so many alleys, so many crowds before you get into a multiplex. And when I tell a mom, nahi picture dekhni hai, nahi jaane do, you know, and she's the person who always loved seeing films. So anyway, I was standing outside the cinema hall and we were just about to buy our tickets, a friend of mine and I, and a woman who was possibly middle-aged according to me, she came up to me and she said, आप बुरा ना माने तो मेरे पास 3 टिकट हैं, आप 2 लेडीज़ हैं, आप 2 तो मुझसे ख़रीद लीजिए तो मेरा टिकट वेस्ट नहीं जाएंगे. तो हमने कहा कोई बात नहीं. तो हमने वो टिकट वाले को बोला, भैया आप रहने दो, हम इनसे ले लें. हाँ. तो हमने उनसे 2 टिकट ख़रीद लिए, 1 टिकट बाकी था. तो हमने 2 टिकट ले लिए, उनको 250 रुपये का 1 टिकट था तो 500 रुपये दे दिए. अब 1 टिकट बेचने के लिए वो खड़ी रहीं. तो मैंने अचानक उनसे पूछा, कोई मिला नहीं उनको. तो मैंने कहा, ये आप 1 टिकट क्यों बेच रही हैं? कहती नहीं, दरअसल हुआ ये कि मैं और मेरी 2 सहेलियां हम पिक्चर देखने आए थे तो इसलिए मैंने टिकट खरीद ली. ये बालकनी में थोड़ा सामने वाली सीट है, उनको पीछे की सीट चाहिए थे. तो उन्होंने कहा हमको नहीं देखनी. आई डोंट वांट टू सी द फिल्म बिकॉज दे weren't happy about the seats. And then she started telling me, so she said, I'm a retired bank worker. So that means she must have been, whatever, 55, 60, when do they retire? I don't know. She had become widowed early in her life. शी हैड अ डॉटर हु वॉज वेरी कंसिडरेट एंड नाइस, लेकिन वो बेटी की अपनी परिवार था, छोटी बच्ची थी, अपना हस्बैंड था, तो वो थोड़ा बिजी थी. उसकी अपनी सहेलियों के भी हस्बैंड जिंदा थे, उनके अपने बच्चे थे. तो ये औरत 55 या 60 साल की उम्र में एक टिकट लिए खड़ी है कि मैं इसको बेच दूं और मैं घर जाऊं अपने पैसे लेके. तो मैंने उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा आपको पिक्चर नहीं देखनी है क्या? कहती हाँ मुझे देखनी है. तो मैंने कहा तो फिर आपके पास एक टिकट है तो आप क्यों नहीं पिक्चर देख रही हैं? कहती मैं अकेले कैसे पिक्चर देखूं? So I said, अकेले नहीं हैं आप, और किसने कहा आप अकेले पिक्चर नहीं देख सकते हैं? Who says you can't watch a movie by yourself? I said, वैसे आप अकेले नहीं हैं, हम 2 लड़कियां हैं, लेडीज हैं, तो हम आपके बगल में बैठे होंगे तो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. और आप चिंता मत कीजिए, हम आपसे ज़्यादा बातचीत भी नहीं करेंगे अगर आपको प्रॉब्लम है. अगर हम कोई, फॉर्चुनेटली आई थिंक शी रियलाइज आई एम एन एक्ट्रेस, सो शी रियलाइज आई वाज़न्ट समवन ट्राइंग टू hoodwink her and maybe just do something. For her, this woman who was only so young, she must have got at least 35 years of her life ahead of her, still lying before her. She did not have the concept that if she wants to see a movie, she can see it herself. And good, of course you can do this in Bombay, maybe not in Delhi. Bombay में आप, और matinee show है. So she sat next to us. It was with a state of wonderment that I'm actually seeing a film by myself. And in the interval, we just turned to her and said, "Oh, we are going out. Do you want to have some popcorns or some chai or samosa?" क्योंकि चंदन में अभी भी समोसा मिलता है, हाँ वो मैकडोनल्ड नहीं मिलता. तो हमने कहा आपको समोसा चाहिए, हम ले आए. नहीं नहीं नहीं. Then I think she went and she got it on her own. And that day, the matinee, she left after picture देखने के बाद, I think उस छोटे से encounter ने, और हम उसका credit नहीं ले रहे हैं, हम तो धड़ल्ले ले जा रहे हैं, we've lived our lives like that. But for someone who was brought up in a system of family and bank job and this and that, the social convention is so strong that this poor lady thought this her life is over. Daughter's married. अब अगर कोई 2 सहेलियां मिल जाए, if she gets 2 friends, then only can she go to watch a movie, then only can she maybe take a vacation. And I wanted to make this point that this is what our country needs right now, and maybe sir a policy will help where there are tours, matinee shows for senior citizens, for single senior citizens, and travel and tours. Because I know my mother and father, जब उन्होंने मुझे डिसाइड किया कि अपने आर्मी की पेंशन से, my father fought in all the 3 wars. We never had much money. I mean, when he retired, his pension was 2,000 rupees. And we were all college going. So imagine what it must have meant. It's just good that the government increased the army pension later. But so when I was in Bombay, they put their money together and got me a second-hand Fiat car. And they drove it. My mother was 59, my father was 9 years older. So that, they drove it all the way from Chandigarh to Bombay themselves and stopped at every army mess on the way and met with old colleagues and things like that. Their spirit till my father who passed away 10 years ago was 80. Their spirit has one of being of adventure. दोनों गाड़ी चला के जा रहे हैं. अच्छा, वापस जब गाड़ी, मैंने थोड़ी सी फैंसी गाड़ी ले ली कुछ साल बाद, तो मैंने कहा आपको चाहिए तो हाँ गाड़ी वापस ले जाएंगे. They went. I said, Mom, there's no spare tire. It's okay. They are so adventure spirited at the age of 60, 70 and even 80. So I realized old people are held in not because they are they're not lonely, because of course in the film it's nice and idealistic that you can find your lost love and get together, which is great. I asked my mother when she got widowed, I said, किसी को देखना शुरू करें, शादी वादी करा दें फिर से. She said नहीं. So she said no. But I told her, I said, if you fall in love with any old man or anything, please feel free to do so. So this has to come from us. The thing is, what we can do for where we are going to go is to give them freedom and to give them choices and to give them the facilities to take that freedom and to make those choices. That is the most important thing for their psychological care. It's not about you getting 3 meals a day, we'll be there when you're sick and we'll be there till you die and we'll give you a good funeral. That's not what a senior citizen wants. They still want to live life. In fact, in the arts, and especially in the Asian arts, the older you get, the more valued you are. In Japanese no theater, जिसमें मास्क होता है, उसमें जो कम से 16 बरस की सुंदर लड़की का रोल करता है, वो एक 60 साल का बूढ़ा एक्टर होता है. मेरा मतलब, बात सही है विक्रम जी, माने what they want actors to be young, but in no theater, the actor who is 60 and above is the one who gets to play the young, beautiful, delicate, bursting with youth woman, because only he has the experience of how to play it. The 16-year-old will be clumsy on stage. And I have always wondered, I was from the National School of Drama, and some of the most amazing teachers we had. Today, sir, we have institutions, but we don't have teachers. You can make 5 NSDs. Even one NSD doesn't have the teachers that we had a generation of teachers. And suddenly you would realize H.V. Sharma ji, जो इतने कमाल के theatre architecture के teacher थे, या Nibha Joshi ji, who taught us aesthetics, or Mahapatra ji, who taught us stagecraft, they're being retired because they've crossed a certain age. And I'm saying you can't retire these people. They're once in a life, in a millennium or something. The knowledge they have of the subject, the experience, the desire to give to a younger generation that they have, that comes with age. You can't retire these people. You have to hold on to them. Even if they say, I'm going, नहीं आप कुर्सी लेके बैठ जाओ, जितनी क्लास लेनी है ले लो, उससे ज़्यादा मत लो, पर please रहो. That is the attitude we have to have towards our teachers in the arts, in education. We can't retire them. 60, 70 is not the age to retire educationists and artists and people. It's the age to open out things so that they don't have to work for a living. So that we get the precious gift of their knowledge, their generosity to give that knowledge, their experience, and all of that. So I had many things like the train issue and all that, but Viniji has already said they are, like my mother, she loves doing work independently. She told the bank wala abhi recently कि आप मैनेजर हैं, यहाँ पे रेलिंग तो लगा देते, 4 सीढ़ियाँ हैं और वो सीढ़ियाँ थोड़ी ऊंची होती तो मुश्किल होता है. One more thing which is of deep concern is, apart from the fact that families can be not nice to senior citizens, it is the corporate sector. The people who sell policies, insurance policies. Senior citizens are a very soft target. मेरी बुआ जी 85 के साल में जब उनका हड्डी हाथ की टूटी तभी उन्होंने हमें उनका केयर करने दिया. तब तक 6 महीने के अंदर उनको एक, मैं कंपनी का नाम नहीं लूँगी, पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, बट यू कैन इमेजिन हु सेल्स the most insurance policies. They had sold her 12 policies in 6 months. The initial payments were to a tune of 3 lakhs. In some of the policies, मेरा pet name लिखा हुआ था, Guddu. Not even Mita Vasisht. और sign मार दिया था. Because she was old, she didn't remember. She said, हाँ मेरी niece है. And he's telling her, आपको बहुत फायदा होगा इस policy से. Now old people want to keep their money also. So she believed these policies were for her benefit, and I was just the nominee. And later on I told her, I said, and then she would be hounded by these insurance fellows कि आपको इतना देना है. So I would really want companies, corporates to have a responsibility towards checking what are the brownie points they're giving their sales people, and why? Why is this younger generation pushed that you have to have this many sales? Because when you're pushing for that many sales, somebody is being exploited. You tell a young person, I need you by the end of the month to sell 40 policies, and then you get a promotion. Have you thought, how is he going to sell 40 policies and to whom? He can only lie and cheat and hoodwink some senior citizen. That is how those 40 policies will get sold in 30 days. So I think corporates need to start understanding that these goals they are setting for their young employees are very, very peculiar goals, because someone is going to get, not someone, a whole generation of senior citizens are the softest targets. I was sold an insurance policy by my personal banker. She knows I don't buy insurance because I don't have children. And she said, you pay 5 lakhs for 5 years and by the end of 10 years you will get 10 lakhs. I said, that's not possible. She says, no, it is. And she wrote it on paper and gave it to me. Then later on, I said, I don't want this policy. And they said, no, but now you've paid one installment, so you have to pay the other. And I said, but I just don't want it. So they said, ma'am, you're going to get 10 lakhs. So I said, yeah, but I'm not sure of that. Then I was told, actually, you will get 10 lakhs if you die in 5 years. Yes, they'll give it to my nominee. So you see how policies are sold. So there are many things here. One is, the most important is, we have to make senior citizens, and if we can actually make ads, films more around senior citizens having a jolly good time by themselves, because they have the facility to seeing a picture. Just see a film on your own. It's safe to go into a cinema hall. Maybe certain shows can be allocated for senior citizens. Years ago when I was teaching at the National Institute of Fashion Technology, I'm talking about 10 years ago, and I told them, आप लोग सिर्फ 1-2 फिल्म स्टार्स के लिए डिज़ाइन बनाना चाहते हो, तो आपको कहाँ से एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिलेगा? ये इतने करोड़ों का देश है, तो आप ज़रा लोगों के लिए बनाए. मैंने कहा, कैसे मैम? I said, just make a designer thing. By that time, Big had not come into India, B-I-G. I said, just make a design season, Fat and 40. Isn't that insulting the person? No, I said, it's thinking, it shows that you're thinking about that person. I said, when you say Fat and 40 and the National Institute of Fashion Technology is designing for them, it means a thought and a whole season has gone into it. So stop being so blinkered that this is the only thing. So for senior citizens, for my future, I want to travel alone. I want to see movies on my own. I want to go to a club and be able to have a drink on my own as a senior citizen. I want to be able to take a trip to Sikkim and not be feeling insecure as to who will hold my hand. I want to travel by public transport, so it should be made good for me in that sense. Like as you were saying, sir, that platforms are beginning to be made at the same level. It's fantastic. So this is it for, that we have to think at many, many, many levels. So senior citizens need choice. They need to have fun. And we need to make it possible for that to happen. That's, I think, what will really take care of the psychological care. Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
मीता जी, आप रुकिए. मीता जी.
Oh, I'm also getting the goodies.
Yeah, you are. How come you won't?
Mama, can you come and take it?
Yes, auntie, please, आइए. Yes, you have to. You made an effort to come all the way.
No, but it's like I was almost not coming.
I'm still very strong.
Because you also doing great job.
He has to be because he's felicitating you.
Oh, not me. Oh my God.
I'm the only free one. We politicians have this habit of being embarrassing inside.
Really? You are proving that. Okay. आइए, come. Thanks a million for whatever you said. I think it's heartfelt. Yes.
Yeah, to my mom.
Ambassador Dr. Deepak Vohra.
पूरा ट्रे दे दो.
ये ट्रे, हाँ, ऊपर वाला ट्रे.
ये वाला कि पूरा ये आपको ज़्यादा मिल रहा है.
Yes. Come. Yeah.
And yes, Shilpi, thank you so much. The reason I agreed to do her film was basically because I love senior citizens. And I, as you can see, I always felt this is a cause. And I don't remember the rest of it that she keeps talking about.
That I remember.
Thank you.
This box has a beautifully handcrafted marble Ganesha. Thank you, Dr. Deepak Vohra. Thank you, Mita ji. Thank you, Auntie. Come.
Thanks, Shilpi.
Thank you so much for making the effort.
Today's National Symposium on Elder Psychological Care is sponsored by lead partner Seni by TZMO Group and associate sponsor Skybarge Private Limited. The event is being supported by All India Radio, Aero Tatvika, Marina Handcrafts and Sukhmanch Theatre.